If you're still waiting for the perfect time to buy, congrats, you just missed out. Hey, but rates are still too high? What, you're not seeing that sellers are more flexible and homes are sitting longer? Smart buyers are negotiating their way to wealth while everyone else waits for a fantasy rate. In this episode, we'll show you why Q3 is hidden window to buy like a boss before the herd rushes back in. Don't sleep, let's act.
That is why vulnerability is so powerful.
How does a guy with billions of dollars in business do that? Man tells me that he makes pancakes every morning for his kids.
When was the last time you did a video for the internet where you said, I told a buyer no today?
Got a cow right outside my backyard, right here, but we're giving the same. We're going cow tipping later if you guys want to stop by.
Come on.
You know, how is this wheel so flawless and good? And why does mine wobble up and down the road like I'm on a Oregon Trail?
Welcome to the Mortgage 101 podcast with Anthony and Manley. Hey, everybody. What's up? Welcome back to the Mortgage 101 podcast, where the place that we simply simplify chaos, and I'm this all up. Excuse my French. We're backing up. This is why I'm reading. This is
why I don't do scripts.
This is why I just stop starting over, taking a 2-second pause. I got all discombobulated. All right.
Don't get nervous because of me. Put my pants on one leg at a time.
Hey, everybody. What's up? Welcome back to the Mortgage 101 podcast, where we simplify chaos, decode the headlines, and give you the blueprint to dominate in today's market. I'm Manley here with my guy, Anthony.
Hey, and it's not just the two of us, right? We got a special guest. Coach Kyle Draper is in the house.
What's up, boys?
Couldn't be more excited. Could not be more excited to have Kyle all the way from Texas. This is an amazing feat, though. I'm going to point this out, guys. Sorry. We got Anthony in Hawaii. We got Kyle in Texas, just in Dallas, right downtown almost, right?
Yep.
And then we got this little podunk Wisconsinite here. Got a cow right outside my backyard, right here. But we're giving the same. We're going cow tipping later if you guys want to stop by.
Come on.
But no, we are having a great time, and I'm so excited to get everybody on here. I mean, Kyle Draper, Rethink Everything. I got a couple books here that are magical from my buddy Kyle. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that, you guys. You guys, if you haven't read this crap, you got to see it. He's the author of Rethink Everything. This guy's next gen loan officer drop salesy script and build relationships that actually scale. It's amazing.
I'm so excited to be here with you guys. Thanks for having me.
So excited to have you.
We're happy, man. We're happy to have you, and someone who's changing how loan officers think, how realtors, pros think, how they show up, how they scale their message, and how, more importantly, to create a personal touch. Man, you are the Wizard of Oz in that realm, and we're looking forward to stealing all of these things that are in your head.
All of it.
So we can incorporate it.
Steal away.
We're Steelers over here.
And enter at your own risk.
I'm going to just make a little shout out. I'm going to do it again during this, but this great purple book, Rethink Everything, social media wise, take a quick peek at this, you guys. This is Kyle's amazing first book that really helps you think about social media and how you use it. And he's the heartblood of what me and Anthony are doing. If you guys DM us a message, I'll send you this book free. We're going to do this for a limited time, but we're going to send this out for Kyle. And we're trying to get this blowing up, and I really enjoy it. And like, subscribe here, and send me a DM, and I'll send you a free book.
Y'all are the best. Thank you for doing that.
Back to it. Hey, Kyle, tell us about the power of vulnerability and a connection in the noisy market. Give me some of that.
Years ago, I started my first paid coaching group, and I think it was $10 a month, right? It was nothing. And for the first time in my life, I was struck with, oh my gosh, what am I now allowed to give away for free? And what do I need to keep behind the paywall so that the people that are paying aren't mad that I'm giving everything away? And I hated it. Because every day I just wanted to give. And now all of a sudden I created this thing that forced me to have to go, wait a second. I can't just give all the time. I have to keep some stuff and hold it back. And that was the moment for me that I realized like that's what vulnerability is. For most people, they live their life behind a paywall. And so they give very little to the public. So from a social media perspective, you may not even know they're married if they're married. You may not know they have kids if they have kids. It's all mortgage related content everywhere. But then as you get to know them and get behind the paywall, you go, dude, Anthony's pretty cool. I think I could go get a drink with that guy. I think I'd like to go watch a ball game. And it's sad to me that it takes months and months and months, even years, to get behind people's paywalls because they're unwilling to just let themselves live their life out loud in front of people. And so, you know, what I decided a while back was I'm going to be myself all the time. And so like y'all are apologizing, you know, before we started. Well, Anthony, you didn't, which I appreciate. Manly's apologized like 14 times to me already because he cusses all the time. I don't freaking care. Just because I don't do it doesn't mean I'm offended by people that do. But I do talk about Jesus a lot because I love Jesus with all of my heart. And I've had times where I've had to be like, hey, I'm so sorry. Like if this is, you know, if this offends you. And man, what a freeing life to live, to go, you know what? Screw you guys. I'm going to be me. And if that means that I'm offended by you dropping the F word, maybe I don't need to be in your circle because I definitely don't want you to be a different version from yourself at the expense of me. And so it's just man, life is so much better when there isn't this, here's what I do talk about to people and here's what I don't, because it gets really confusing to know what I'm allowed to say and what I'm not supposed to say. And so, man, just let it all be out there. And so I'll finish this part with this. One of my favorite coaching strategies is because we've already talked about it. You know, when I talk to an LO that I've seen their videos and then I hang out with them in person and they cuss like a sailor in person, but they don't cuss on their videos, that pisses me off. It bothers me because I'm sitting here going, man, if you're not willing to do it on a video, but you are willing to do it in person, what's the difference? Like, if it's not okay over here, but it is okay over there, why shouldn't it just either not be okay everywhere or be okay everywhere? And so I love seeing LOs that are like, you know what? I started cussing in my videos. I love it because they're going to attract other people that love to cuss too, right? And as stupid as that sounds, that's how we connect to people.
What I hear that you're saying, Kyle, is, and you're bringing it to a head too, and I think it's important. And this is for all our viewers, not just, you know, professionals, is in order to reach your full potential, you have to embrace your true authentic self. And in order to really give 100% of yourself, you cannot hide behind a lens or a mask. You have to be that true authentic self that could convey your deepest intentions. And so for some people, you know, that's when they're shutting this off because they're like, well, damn, that's going to screw me up because I am the complete opposite. I am not my true authentic self. If anything, I am everything against that. And this is not the podcast for you. If you cannot be your true authentic self, then you might as well just click cancel right now. But if you're looking to elevate, it sounds like from what Kyle is saying, and it's true, the power of vulnerability and the connection is so important. But you can only have that if you show your true authentic self and you show that vulnerability of who you are with no apologies. Be unapologetically true. That's what I get out of what you're just telling us, Kyle.
Here's the other part. I'm gonna throw you off script, Manly, because we didn't plan for this.
I want to be off script.
If we just make it about vulnerability, most people won't be bought in because they have no desire to be vulnerable, right? Yep. Being vulnerable is painful. Because as it allows for connection, it also exposes you to destruction. And so the other piece of this is so today, an hour ago, I was on a sales call with a guy that I know. And so one of my businesses is a virtual assistant company. And we get on the call and he says, hey, I've already met with 2 other virtual assistant companies. And so I kind of know where they're at. You know, I want to know where you're at. We had this conversation and he literally said this, I trust you more than I trust them. Let's go. That to me is really the superpower of sales is people aren't looking for a mortgage anymore. They're looking for someone that they can trust that isn't going to screw them. because they don't want to go be educated. They don't. They just want, like, when we buy a house, I don't want to go learn about it. I want to have a buddy that I trust implicitly that I can go, dude, do your thing. You're the expert of this. I'm not. And that is why vulnerability is so powerful, because it advances us quickly to trust, which without it, sales do not happen.
Kyle, you're talking about the reason that I've been dreaming of doing this podcast for over 2 years, and Anthony helped push me over the edge back in December and said, we're doing this. And I really want people to know, like, and trust me through seeing me, my unapologetic, authentic self. I am who I am. Love me or hate me. I do apologize a lot for swearing, because I don't think that everybody wants to hear that, but that is what it is. It's who I am. And you know, I'm not doing this because I want to be some super rock star, video guy. I'm doing this so that people get to meet me and maybe break down that wall of understanding who Manly is, who Anthony is. And you're the reason, you are the reason why I'm doing this. And it's so bizarre that how we met.
Awesome.
And that's why I just had to have you on here. But there's so much alignment here that's freaky. And I appreciate you so much for coming on. Super cool.
I think we need to do at least 10 of these episodes probably together.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff. It's
100%.
good stuff, baby. Good stuff, baby. Hey, why modern buyers crave authenticity over polish. We're talking about all this. We kind of just rolled through this. We went off script. It's part of the script. This is one of my things, and we're talking about this. Why do they want that? Why do they want to see the authentic self now? Why? Before, everybody's like, I want the high polished, Mercedes-Benz commercial where everything's perfect.
Yep.
That's not us. That's not me. That's not Anthony's pretty perfect, but he's got perfect hair. Look at him.
Well, this is changing rapidly and in our favor, those willing to be authentic, because now with how quickly AI is advancing, right? I can scroll TikTok and half of the videos are not real people. And most people can't tell, right? That's why, like somebody could make an AI video of the president riding a dolphin. And somebody's going to be like, I'm so offended. Why would he do that to that? And like, there's people out there that like, they go crazy over all this fake stuff. And so now what I'm realizing is that because everything can be so perfect, people are craving imperfection. They want real, authentic connection. And so that's why I think, and I know we keep coming back to this. This is why I think cussing can really be a superpower. Because I would guarantee you of the 30,000 lenders that I know, I guarantee you 29,500 of them say the F word, but they're not putting it on social media.
Especially when they're talking to their underwriter.
That's a disconnect in their ability to connect with the consumer.
Yeah, and I think you hit it on the head, Kyle. And that's a great question, Manly. The modern buyer, they are just bombarded by what their avatar is telling the big engine to give them, right?
Yeah.
And so when we log on in the morning on our cell phones, on our computers, on our social media, we are getting bombarded by non-authentic sales pitches is what it is. Everything is a sales pitch. So the more that we become authentic and how we convey it to them, then the more we cut through all of the noise. And that's one thing that I think we have that AI doesn't, and maybe it'll get there, which is kind of scary.
I don't think so.
Maybe in 10, 20 years, you won't even recognize if I'm real right now or not.
Yeah.
Because it has embedded, just like ChatGPT, every mannerism, every stutter, every organicness. So we have to really dig deep to find that authentic over polished self to really just make us sound more brighter and make us sound more pronounced from all the noise that's around us.
That's right. And here's a great test for everybody. It's a two-part question. When was the last time you told a buyer no? Whether it was because they're not ready or that's not the loan product you typically feel you're the expert of. And then part two is, when was the last time you did a video for the internet where you said, I told a buyer no today? let me tell you the story, so that you're not just the lender that is always screaming, it's the best time to buy, it's the best time to buy, it's the best time to buy, because it can't be the best time to buy 365 days a year, right? There's people, there's types of situations that aren't right for now, but I don't see people out there being honest with people. And so that to me is a simple test of if you think you're being vulnerable, being authentic, doing right by people. There should have been a time in the last week or two where you told somebody no because it wasn't in their best interest to tell them yes.
I had to tell somebody no yesterday
There you go.
because it was a debt to income ratio situation, and they were trying to push their envelope. They're really trying to do something. I'm just like, this isn't going to work. And so that it was because we had no choice. But I agree that, that could be a good opportunity for me to go out and say, it's not always, roses that comes up. Sometimes this comes down to, the qualifications just don't work. We can push envelopes. We can make stuff happen.
Manly, think about the advice you gave them. Hey guys, here's a couple ways to help improve your debt to income ratio. And then what if you turned around and jumped in front of the camera and said, hey guys, you might find yourself in a similar situation to the Joneses. Here's what I told them. I hope this will help you.
Yeah, I'm going to steal that, Kyle.
Please.
Starting today, I'm going to do, because I do up close with your personal lender. I do all kinds of things social media wise. I'm going to add that. I just put a little text in here.
Come on.
Start sending out, I had to tell a buyer no, here's why and how to learn from it. So that way we can tell people about their other people's indiscretion so they can learn what not to do. I think that's brilliant because everyone focuses on the yeses in life and they don't focus on the no's. And there's so much to learn in the no's because there's so much adversity that comes from it. Whereas yeses, it's just like, yes, thank you so much. That's a really good point. And that's something that I'm going to keep in the back of my mind. Lessons are in the no's and rarely in the yeses.
And it's a little counterintuitive because we do go out and pride ourselves on being creative and being able to work it out. I'm a problem solver. And that's why I love this industry. I love being a problem solver. I have a real creative background. Not a lot of people know this about me, and I can't believe I'm going to tell you this, but I have a BFA in ceramics and painting. Like I did not go through the math world to get to where I'm at today. So I have a real creative. I started school to go into graphic design, and I switched quickly to ceramics and then got a double major in painting. And it was a great experience. But to my point is, I feel like I'm super creative. I feel like I have a leg up to help people get out of a possible mess and give them the options that actually exist and the options that don't. And so you're kind of being counterintuitive because I'm the guy that's like, I'm not the yes guy, but I'm the guy that's going to help you figure it out. And if it's not figure outable, I'm going to be straightforward and transparent with you. That's what's going to go down. And I like your approach too. Like you got to explain the no's and how the no's occurred, right? It's part of it.
100%.
Love it. Anyway, sorry about that.
I'm feeling a molding with Manly video series where you're behind that clay and you're like, spinning it on that thing while you're giving a mortgage tip.
Patrick Swayze style.
Yeah.
Patrick Swayze style.
I think that could be something.
I think there's a movie on that called Ghosts.
Right? Is there? Yeah.
Yeah, there is. Kyle, tell me a little bit about this. This is your latest book and how I met you. And you came on to our team meeting with like 150 loan officers, and you talked about the power of this book. And a guy that co-wrote this or, introduced you to us, from Michigan is the guy how we got lucky enough to meet you.
That's
Tell
right.
me a little bit about this bad boy.
Yeah. Well, so first of all, you said you said latest. That's actually the second book, and we've done 5 books since then.
Wow.
So we're up to 7 books in the series. But the way that book came about was I got introduced to Brian View, who is a big time executive in our industry for 30 plus years. And good question askers get really far in life. And we were doing a podcast together, and he said, man, tell me about like this Rethink Everything. He loved my purple book. he actually posted about it 14 days in a row on LinkedIn. That's how we met, because he kept tagging me in these posts. And I'm like, dude, what? There's not even 14 good things in this book. Like, how are you finding all this stuff? And so we connected, and he was like, man, what do you want to do with this book stuff? And I told him, I said, man, I think that I want to go compete with Book for Dummies. And I'm 42 years old. I've never seen anybody compete with it. It doesn't seem very nice to call people a dummy. And so what if we could put a fresh spin and some positivity on that concept? And a week later, he called me and was like, dude, what if your second book was for mortgage lenders? And we found 37 of the top mortgage people in the country, and we had all of them write a chapter. And I was like, dude, that's brilliant. I love it. And so that's how the Green Book came to be. Somehow,
this is gold. This is gold.
somehow, yeah, it's unbelievable because, well, it's gold because I didn't have anything to do with writing it, even though somehow my name found itself on the cover. But the 37 men and women that were in that book, they did not pay to be in that book. They were asked, they were sought out to be in that book because we believe that they're the best of the best that this industry has to offer. And it's absolute gold. And every realtor and lender should absolutely have a copy of the Green Rethink Everything book.
Hopefully you like all the education that you're getting from Manly and I. Do us a favor and smash that like button, subscribe and follow, and tell all your friends and family about us. Kyle, the fact that you were able to manifest this and put this in a nice book as a Bible, so to speak, for, just, hey, it's all about, it kind of falls in line, Manly, with how we think with perception and thoughts, and how what we perceive is what we think, and what we think is what we feel, and what we feel is what we do, and what we do is what we become. And it starts with the perception. But what other people don't understand is that a perception starts from the outside of the mind. A thought starts within the mind. And a lot of people take the perception as gospel, not understanding that it's been on an outside, inside view, and that your Rethink Everything is exactly that. It's taking people's thoughts that were based off a perception that they conceptualized as this is the primary source, and basically doing an audit, going, is this correct, or should I take that and put it on a table and rethink it to go, my perception now has changed, which is now going to alter my thoughts, which is now going to alter my feelings, which is now going to alter my actions, and creates a whole change in a mindset, basically a reset of the mind.
That's it.
All because you rethought that perception into a different view. That's exactly what you're doing, but you're doing it on a bird's eye view with people who have a proven track record of being a beast in what they do.
That's right.
And it's giving us a fast pass into, rather than us waiting years or decades or never to get to that point, we can see someone who's gotten to that point and seen that shift of, this is where I thought, this is what I think. Give us some insight on some nuggets on, if you were to tell me, Anthony, there's two things out of that book that could help me as a loan officer and help our viewers as buyers, what are like the top two things in that book that are like must knows?
So, dude,
Pick
that's
your favorite child.
Yeah, I was
Pick
about
your
to say,
favorite child.
it's like picking kids,
Yeah.
I'll speak to sections, because we broke the book into 6 sections. And to me, the absolute most valuable piece to the book, again, nothing against the rest of the book, the entire book is amazing, every chapter is gold, but we had some absolute giants in our industry right in the mindset section, because mindset is everything. Right? Like you just went deep with the flow of how a simple thought can ultimately become our actions, which then determine our future. And so when we've had 3 years of kind of down numbers for a lot of people, man, you got to get rid of that stinking thinking. And so the people we had write chapters in that section are like the godfathers of mortgage. And so it's an honor that all those guys said yes. I think the second one though is we actually had the whole book done, And Brian and I looked at it and we thought, man, something's missing. We have everybody teaching about principle, about playbook, but we don't have the insight from the literal top producer that is on the ground right now doing this stuff. And so the final piece of the puzzle was we went and got, I think there's 5 in there of the top LOs in the industry, and had them write about their secret sauce, what they're doing right now. And man, I love that part because it's not theory, right? It's not, it's literal, do this because it's making me so much money. And they did an unbelievable job.
Love it.
So it's kind of like a recipe for their success of
That's it.
What
Yep.
they've incorporated it, maybe the habits, of what makes their clock tick, right? And that's really good insight to understand. If you're not trying to reinvent the wheel, you're trying to deconstruct it. How is this wheel so flawless and good, and why does mine wobble up and down the road like I'm on a Oregon Trail, whereas yours is like a stealth bomber? And so this is an overview of like, hey, like look at this Godfather. I like when you said that Godfather. It gave me a picture of a dark room, a smoke-filled room with someone who just is at the pinnacle of their profession, and knows so much value in their thought process because of where they came from and what they've had to persevere through. So that's super insightful, man. You can't bottle that up, but you did in the form of a book, which is freaking amazing.
And can I say something real quick about this? And this is gonna piss some people off.
Hold on. We're about to get pissed off.
Oh, come on. Yeah, turn the emergency lights on.
Bring it, sunshine.
So something I've learned, and I've only learned it because I've done it, is we will allow a lack of knowledge to exist so that we don't have to take responsibility. And so
okay. Well, let me break that down. So you said we will allow a conscious thought of not allowing information to come in.
Yeah. So for example, if I'm in the middle of a weight loss journey and, I go up and I go down and I go up and I go down, and I used to weigh 400 pounds and now I weigh 283 pounds as of this morning. And, but tomorrow I could weigh 290 pounds, right? Like that, that's the way it goes. But for years, and even probably still now, if I'm not careful, I could go to one of my buddies with a 6-pack and go, bro, what are you doing? Like, what do you do to look like that? And he's going to go, number one, I eat less cheeseburgers than you. And number two, I never miss a day getting 10,000 steps. And I go, that's it? That's all you do? Different than me? And by him oversimplifying it, now I have to feel guilty for not executing on what I know. But as long as we can try to stay confused, like surely you've read a book, surely you had a mentor, surely you paid $100,000 to a coaching program that has awarded you knowledge that I don't, so that I don't have to feel guilty by doing nothing. And that's what most of us do. That's why I wanted to share this, because we can make this book, which we did. And yet there's people that will purposefully not read it, or people that do read it, but then they assume, oh, well, obviously it's different. Anthony's in Hawaii and I'm in Texas, so it's obviously easier for him. He doesn't sweat very much. The weather's always great. Like, we just come up with all these reasons as to why it doesn't make sense for me, but it made sense for you. When the reality of life is so simple.
I would tell you right there, you hit it right on the head. For our listeners of what Kyle just said, if you take anything out of this podcast, the big thing is this: your mindset will completely shape your future. It is to a T of what you perceive is what you think, and what you think is what you feel, and what you feel is what happens. And so you have to be very careful of what you let creep in to your perspective, because if the glass is half empty, the glass is half empty. Even
That's
if
right.
it's half full, it's half empty for you. And
Yep.
so, perfect example was when, Shant, our CEO of Rate, our president
love that
of
guy.
Rate, Victor CEO, Shant just became president. Here's a guy who does $1 billion in productivity a year plus, and he's got like a small team of like a couple assistants. How does a guy with billions of dollars in business do that? I was lying to myself up until years of working with Raid. I actually was able to sit down with Sean and I was able to ask him some questions. And I came away from that going, I have been lying to myself because and just what you just said, I did not want to face the reality of that my perception was wrong. And so I kept lying and coming up with excuses because I didn't want to face it, because that's chasing no, and that's not chasing a yes. And chasing a no takes work, takes accountability, and really takes a new mindset to rethink it. And I was telling myself, well, I value my family and I value my time. So Sean probably, is divorced 20 times, doesn't have a relationship with his family.
That's right.
It's all about work. And then
don't get us fired here. Don't get us fired here. Be careful.
And then I proceed to sit down, and this man tells me that he makes pancakes every morning for his kids, and he doesn't pick up his phone until 9 a.m., and he is fully present. He's not like the normal, hey, kids, have a good time, have a good day at school, or, hey, yeah, I'll get it. Or when we pick him up, hey, kids, how was your day? Okay, great. So about this interest rate. He's fully present in what he's doing. And then he takes his wife to lunch, fully present, gets off at 5 p.m., fully present, doesn't work on weekends, delegates and strategizes. I came from there going, holy shit, I've been lying to myself this whole time because I didn't want to face the reality that I need to rethink everything that I've taught myself, and that Sean is successful because he delegates and strategizes his time, not because he has indiscretions or not because he focuses on something else more. He values his time more than me. And that was a big takeaway.
It's
huge,
man.
It was a big takeaway because I was focusing on working myself to death and not strategizing myself to death. And I came away from there knowing that I'm doing it all wrong. And so this year has been a life journey for me of the who, not how method. I love that book.
Yeah,
but
great.
Really it goes to you, Coach Kyle, basically rethinking. We have to be in a continuous process improvement mindset. And that really goes to you, where if we wake up every morning and go, we need to rethink everything we're doing, not because it's wrong, but because we want that perspective to constantly improve it. Because face it, everything we do can be improved. From if we did it one time, we can improve it again and again and again and again. And if we have that mindset of rethinking everything on a daily basis, not just in a book, but on a daily basis, we are going to come out better than when we first started, all because we decided to rethink what we engraved in our head early on. That's what I'm getting from what you're telling us.
Preach, man.
We got to allow ourselves to evolve. And that's what we're doing. We're evolving. And me and Anthony have been talking about this since January when we got this thing up. Like we're evolving. Every podcast is getting better. Everything we're doing, we're getting better. Technologies wise, we're getting better. Or everything. We're rethinking everything. I'm the master of tweaking it. I'm in the same boat, what you're talking about, because we want to be better. We want to be better at our craft, which is this. And we want to get out and put ourselves out in front of people and let them see the authentic us, see who we are, hopefully educate them a little bit, let them know, what's going on in this market, let them know what's going on in the mortgage industry right now. And hopefully they'll walk away and get some nuggets out of this and go, yeah, these guys aren't half bad. And maybe we'll, ultimately think about doing business with them, so don't get me wrong. I do have, a goal. I'm hoping to get more traction from a business perspective, but I'm trying to do it this way and get people to meet, know, like, and trust me, Anthony, and bring people like yourself on, Kyle, to, help us ground it.
Absolutely.
Love it. Love it, brother. Appreciate you coming on and gracing us with your presence, giving us all this knowledge. I'm so glad I got to meet you. I'm telling you, there's some divine intervention that brought you to me in a weird way, and love that. And not trying to get too deep there, but I appreciate it.
Just the beginning.
I knew Anthony would love it too, because me and Anthony are on the same wavelength on what we're trying to do. And you are preaching what we are trying to achieve, and you're just going to
you
help us
get
get
it.
better.
Yeah. Kyle gets it, and he's tapped into that, and we need that more than ever in a world of automation, in a world of technology and AI. We are seeing a gap of the authenticness go and slip away, and so it's up to people like Manly, like Kyle, like a lot of other people to really show, what our duty is as leaders in our area, and to do it right, and to do it right, and that's exactly what you're doing, man. I can't wait. I've looked at. I just heard about this book a week and a half ago, and Manly, that's all he's been talking about for the past couple weeks, and he's been giving me excerpts, and I'm like, man, that's freaking fire. That's awesome. That's fire. That's fire. That's fire. And I'm like, it takes like 17 years for books to come here on the island because everything is by tugboat, and it's by turtles in the back of the boat that do their fins, and so it takes like forever. But I'm gonna read this damn thing, and when we have you on, I'm probably going to. We're gonna have to make it like a 7-hour special,
Let's
that
go.
way we can.
We'll do it again.
Hey guys,
I'm in.
I just want to come in and ask all our viewers to do us a favor, and this comes with a cost. You have to like our podcast, you have to subscribe to our podcast, and then DM me, and I will get you this book. I'm telling you, it's worth your time. Kyle's amazing. It's super awesome that we had him here, and we're lucky enough to get him on here. One day I'm going to get him in studio here in Wisconsin.
Yeah, we
and
are.
He's going to be forced to watch a Brewers game or a Packers game with me, but just love it, and super stoked. Kyle, any parting words that you want to say to us?
I will end with my superpower. My superpower in life is that I love people more than I care about looking stupid. And so when people are like, man, I can't get in front of the camera. I don't know how to be more of myself. It's always ego, always. And so when you turn it around and go, okay, would you willingly just jump in an ocean with a great white shark? Probably not. But if your kid was in that ocean with that great white shark, would you jump in after it to save your kid? Absolutely. Why? Because you value that life more than you value your own. And that is the theme in all of this, is if we're truly doing this because we love serving people, then we will do anything, even looking stupid, if we believe the outcome can be serving people. And that's how the books have happened. It's just a journey of being ignorant while loving people. And here we are.
I love it, man.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Words. Yeah,
Kids.
We appreciate you, buddy.
All right. Talk soon.
Talk soon, brother. See you, brother.
Man,
How awesome was that?
That was amazing. He's the mantra, man. He's the mantra of what we talk about, which his ending is exactly what you and I talk about, which is every day you and I wake up, we try to figure out how we can pour into other people's cups. Okay. Yeah. A lot of people think that we just sit there in our room and go, how can we make money? How can we make money? That there are guys out there that do that. But for the good guys, the guys in the blue shirts today, we wake up every day and we figure out how can we make the life around us better. And that includes our family, our community, and our clients. Because we know that the more that our clients, our community, and our family is better, then we are a product of our environment. And so by pouring into other people's cups through knowledge, education, through understanding, through dispelling fear, through giving them sound information, prepping them to make a big purchase that's going to affect the rest of their lives, you cannot do anything better for your client than to be your true authentic self, to show authenticity over polish. That's the big takeaway here, is you're going to get all of us, including the unpolished version, but it's real. Do you want gold plated or do you want, some tarnish, but it's all the way through real and organic and authentic. So that takeaway that Coach Kyle, I'm going to call him from now on, is brought to us is, remember to bring your authentic self to every conversation. And that's what we do, right? And same with our viewers out there. Don't be afraid of the no's. Like he said, we always talk about the yeses and the successes in life, but we don't talk about the no's enough. And so for me, I wrote a lot of information down on that I really need to talk on the no's, because that's where the success lies. The understanding of the yes lies in the no. And in order for us to really convey this to our clients and our viewers, how to get to that yes is to explore the no and to dissect the no. And so maybe we should start doing that on our podcast of really dissecting the no's in life that we turned into a yes, so people can go, oh, that is a no for me. And I understand that. I can turn that into a yes for me. So that's my big takeaway.
I love it. I love it. It was great. Great having them. We got way off topic, but I loved it because that's why I wanted him here, because it really is about what we're trying to do here. And I hope we're doing a good job for you guys and our viewers and listeners. I hope that's what's happening. Appreciate you guys for that. All that said, we can move on to the rest of our show. We could end here. Anthony, I'm going to put it in your hands.
Let's do a market update. I mean, I think we still got about 10 minutes. We can do a market update. Let's jump into that. We good with the market updates that gives the viewers some where we're currently going?
If you guys are liking all the information you're getting from us, if you're feeling that we're educating you, please smash that like button, subscribe, DM us with any thoughts or ideas for our show, and also tell your friends and family about it. Share us on social if you can. Would love it. All right, here we go. We're going to give you a little market update, Anthony. Let's break it down.
Yeah, so the market, where are we at? We can see that inflation came in a little bit hotter on what the current levels are, but they're as expected, aka flat. So we were at 2.4, now we're at 2.7. We are expecting to see a small uptick, so we're within the values of what we were thinking. We're flat in our projections. We're exactly where we need to be. The big aspect is the tariffs that went into effect. We're not seeing the effects of those tariffs, which is a lot of people were, anticipating to see what would happen, how the market would react to them. Would we see inflation just beeline to the top, or are we going to see it flat? And we're seeing it flat, and that's what we wanted to see. We're bringing more. I believe we saw like 26 billion in a surplus this month due to the tariffs. Now we're still in a deficit of 1.3 trillion, but the fact that we're seeing in an intra-month a surplus that we haven't seen in 7 years, that's a sign that it's doing its job. Now, are we going to see overnight the deficit go away? Vamos, it's gone? No. But if we're making the right steps forward, you can't bat an eye at that and go, we're not doing it the right way. I think we're going in the right direction. The market is in our favor, and I think we're going to see the rates dip lower over the coming months. And we're going to get to the average that you and I have first anticipated to see. Where are we at now with current rates?
I think we're holding at like 6.825, right in that range and that's kind of jumped up in the last couple of days. I think the 10 years breaching just on the verge of breaching 4.5 again, and that just happened in a quick period of time. But speaking of all that pressure on the markets, there's a lot of pressure, and all eyes are on Jerome Powell, and the Fed chair is really, really, really getting nudged hard, and not quietly either. Our friend Trump has just publicly said he wants a 3% rate drop, but come on. If you've read The Art of the Deal, you already know the play.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly it's a classic Trump, basically. He doubles up and then he settles for half. So when I was seeing the headlines of people going, can you freaking believe Trump wants a 3% reduction on the Fed rate? That is the craziest thing ever. The same people who are pulling the mechanisms for that to happen, they're saying the same thing. But what it does is it sets the deal to say, we want to see some big changes here. And I'm going to start with a massive jump. And, obviously, if you've read The Art of the Deal, you know that classic Trump is asking for double than what really he wants. So if we see a 1.5 rate drop, that's going to be a massive in the affordability and the movement of mortgage volume. That's going to be a massive shift. If we see that Fed rate drop 1.5%, and we see the rates drop 1%, and we go from the 6.25 an FHA to like a 5.25. If you think houses are expensive now, it's going to be a sad day and a good day, because when that happens, the issue that we're going to be talking about is man, our buyers have to put highest and best. There's 20 people wanting the house. They're not paying seller concessions, and they're now not paying the buyer's agent commission. So now the buyers have to pay their commissions, pay their closing costs, pay above asking, settle because they can't get the house they want because it's out of their reach. This is coming. And this is already here. We're seeing it.
Hey, bottom line, the pressure is on. Inflation's steady. The election is looming. Money market's blinking green. The next quarter could be your last wide open window. Really think about this. I'm not trying to put panic in the old movie theater that there's smoke in the air, but all this stuff is leading that we're going to continue on this rise up. And if Trump gets his way and we get, a good movement in the Fed overnight rate, it's going to have an impact on the mortgage rates, which is going to be positive for home buyers and affordability. But it's going to be a bloodbath because we're going to get a sea of new buyers that now are more eligible for whatever they're doing. So, hey, don't panic.
The final
but I would pay
takeaway
attention
on that, Manly, is for our viewers out there, we're not talking about rates potentially going up or rates going high. That is yesterday's news. We are only talking about rates going down or staying the same. So that should be your motivation to go, am I going to wait until the wave and the tsunami is there, or am I going to get off the beach? And so the wave is there. It's right there. And so are you going to get off the beach? Are you going to get off the sidelines? Or are you just going to sit there next to your chair and then be that person that's on the video getting swept away? And that's what we're seeing here. We see all these people on the sidelines, and they're just like, well, I'm waiting for the right time. And we're like, you don't see that wave? That's all we're talking about is the rates going down. And the question of, it's not if, it's when. And you don't want to be the now. You want to be like before. Otherwise, you're just going to be a part of the herd.
And if you try to time that market and think you're going to wait till that bottom, it's going to go blowing right by you and going to be a mess. Trust me. Do not be that guy. Think about it. Be intentional. Move forward. Let her rip, Chip. So, hey, we're going to move on to the next segment, our favorite segment, our rapid fire buzzwords. And we got our buddy James here at the helm. James, our studio producer today. James, tell us what we're going to do today.
Yeah, so I'm going to give you guys like a phrase or something, and I just want a one word or a one sentence reaction on what you're thinking when I say it. So to start off, let's go with temporary rate buy down.
Temporary rate buy down. It's a hack. That's a hack and a cheat code to get a 4% now in a 7% environment.
Yep. I think of that as a weapon, a way to destroy your competition when you're putting in an offer and get yourself in a position to feel comfortable when you are writing your offer, knowing that full well that I got this great rate that's going to be with me until these rates do come down to what we're hoping or thinking we're going to see here in the next 12 to 18 months. So it gives you that temporary buy down, and what you use is what you spend. If you don't use it, you get the money back. So it is basically taking care of you. Very powerful tool. It is a weapon.
This is one that I know a lot of people my age are used to. Tell me about the word Zillow.
Oh, jeez. Here we go. You get this first, Anthony.
Zillow. Clickbait. It's clickbait. It's getting better, but clickbait, the miracle pill. You take this pill, you lose 100 pounds, and then you take the pill and you realize all the side effects that come with it. That's how Zillow is. You see the house and you're like, oh, it's perfect. That's been off the market for 3 weeks. Or, oh, it's perfect. It's like, oh, yeah, it's a foreclosure. Oh, it's perfect. Oh, yeah, someone died in it. It's like, get your agent and get the source. That's a good way to kind of see an overview, but that ain't the whole story.
Hey, it's flat out confusion is what it is. At the end of the day, it's just like my favorite commercial. And I say this a lot to people all the time because I think I'm funny and people probably just go, you're an idiot. But hey, Google says I'm a French model. Look at me. Right. That's it in the epitome. Moving on. Zillow. No thanks.
Next one we got is the Fed pivot.
We just talked about it. It's coming. The feds are going to pivot. Right now, they are holding on for dear life, going, no, we don't want to. We want rates higher for longer. that story's getting old, and you're getting a really grumpy orange dude who's getting pissed off, and he gets his way, whether it's in a nice way or a bad way, which is scary. But that's all you see in the headlines now is he's eyeing it, and I mean he's a real estate mogul, so he doesn't want his legacy to be he crippled the real estate market. That's the last thing he wants. So if he wants 3%, he's going to get it. The feds are going to pivot, and we're going to see it play out in the next 3 months. That's my prophecy.
I just call it tension. It's just sheer tension right now. Moving on.
All right, next phrase I got here is waiting for 5%.
Oh, jeez. People.
It's a myth if you're thinking it needs to be now, but it is. It's not a unicorn. It's a documentary series, and the 5% will be there. But you need to jump in it now and date. Hate to say date the rate, buy the home. But again, it's
divorce the rent.
Yeah.
Date the rate. divorce the rent, my friend. Marry the home. Divorce the rent.
What's your take?
Hey, I think maybe in 2026 at some point, maybe it's early, maybe it's second quarter. You know, I might be doing wishful thinking here, but we're still in that grind down mode. And I've said this in plenty of our shows. We take 2 steps forward towards rates going down and then 3 steps backwards. And we're just in this mode. So it's going to continue on, Eventually, it's going to level out. And we're going to feel safety, in the low 6s, high 5s. So it's coming.
Facts.
Next.
All right, one last one I got for you guys is Trump 3% rate cut.
Already talked about it a little bit, but bring it again, Anthony.
Yeah, negotiation move. That's what it is. It's just a negotiation move, and it's just for him to set the tone that he wants change, and he's going to get it, and it's going to be monumental. He doesn't want no quarter or eighth or 0.5%. He's shooting for the moon, and so that's why he says 3. Will we get 3? No, we won't ever. But 1.5, that's feasible.
I love it. I think he's doing his normal tricks, and his target is 1.5%. Is that good or bad? I think it's going to make our economy roll. It's going to make the housing market roll, which is the biggest, impact to our whole economy is the housing market. Love it or hate it, but take that from there. I think that's it for me on that. Let's jump ship here to the ever popular Mortgage 101 rate prediction tracker, because that's what we're talking about. So let's talk about that, Anthony, and talk about what it means and what we've talked about in the past episodes, and our forecast range is looking like we're not getting there. We're seeing a forecast range of 5.8% to 6.5%, and the forecast average is 6.15. That's what we're predicting is we're going to see at the end of the year. So we're sitting at a higher, 6.8-ish right now today. We're back and forth. Just, last week we were seeing 6.5. So we're having those swings I'm talking about. What do you want to say?
Yeah, I mean, so our forecast range is staying consistent, right? We're still in that 5.8, 6.5. You and I still think, and we haven't moved from that position, that we think 6.1 is where we're going to settle out the end of the year. We still got 5 months in this year. So the fact we're at a 6.8, just think of rates like a wave. It comes in, it goes out, comes in, it goes out. The goal is to be 2 steps lower, 1 step higher, 2 steps lower, 1 step higher, to be systematically aligned to that low 6.1. 90 days ago, we were thinking it was, going to be in the upper 6s, lower 7s. And then 60 days ago, we're like, no, it's going to be in the 5s. It's all over the place. But one thing is consistent in the tracking, and that's we are seeing trending lower. Every single time that we come on this podcast, it's not, oh my God, we're to the moon. It is, we're consistent, we're stable, we're trending lower, and we're getting closer to that 6.15. So check back in every week, every month, and hopefully by the end of this year, we are all happy, warm, and fuzzy, and we see those 6s. Some people think 5s, but I'm at least resolute at that 6.15.
We probably got to get Bill back on here sometime soon and get Bill's prediction on this whole thing, because he was great 3 weeks back.
That's a good idea. Back. I think we do need Bill on there, especially maybe like before October, maybe it's September. That's a nice one before the feds leave in, and let's see where let's see where we're at from then, right?
We'll reach out to our buddy Bill, and again, we'll put his stuff up on here if you guys want to go follow Bill. He's got some great insight on what's really happening in the mortgage-backed security world. But hey, Anthony, final thoughts. Let's jump into our final thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is a journey, right? It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Homeownership is not about baptism by fire hose, although it can feel like it because there's so much information coming at you. And at that point, there's a lot of information that's not correct. It's secondhand. It's opinion based. So the mantra is trust but verify. And it's what Kyle said. We need to nail that home. Be your most authentic self. Not only with us, the professional, but with the borrower. Be your authentic self. Let us know the whole story. So, just look at us as the attorney and the underwriter as the judge. And the more we know, then the more we can help. So be your authentic self. Tell us all of your no's. We can turn them into yeses. And we can make sure that you're not reactive in a market that is continuing to go forward, and they are unrelentless and unapologetic, and they will continue to move forward with or without you.
If this episode helped you feel more confident about your home buying journey, do us a favor. Share it with a friend, subscribe, leave a review, and if you've got a question or a topic you want us to cover, hit us up with a DM or a comment. Thanks for listening to the Mortgage 101 podcast. We'll see you next time.
Manly, knock, knock.
No. We're not doing this again.
Knock, knock.
Oh, come on, Anthony.
Knock, knock.
Right. Who is there?
Fed.
Fed who?
Fed up with these rates already. Let's drop them like it's hot. And that's what we're going to see by the end of this year.
Oh, Lord Almighty. Let's hope we see it by the end of the year, brother.
I agree.